Welcome to the release update of WebHarvy version 6.1. In this video, we will walk you through the changes in the latest version of WebHarvy. So the first change is an option to add a blank row whenever WebHarvy fails to fetch data for a category or keyword or URL. So if you go to category keyword page of WebHarvy settings, and if you enable the tag with category URL keyword option, you can find this new option which says add a blank row with tag when no data is available. So how this works is that when you enable this option which has multiple keywords or categories or URLs, WebHarvy will add a blank row like this whenever it fails to fetch data for the corresponding keyword or category or URL. This helps in identifying the items for which WebHarvy has failed to fetch data. So earlier there was no way to find out for which URLs or keywords did WebHarvy fail to fetch data. Another change is that proxies which are set in WebHarvy in settings, proxy settings tab, the proxies which are set here are used only within WebHarvy and not system-wide. So earlier the proxies were set system-wide, and other applications in your system like browsers had some side effects whenever the proxies required login using a username or password, and also when WebHarvy was cycling through a list of proxies. So from this version onwards, the proxies set will be used only within the software without causing any side effects to other applications and browsers installed in your system. Another change is that the proxies which you set in settings will be immediately available in the configuration browser too. So earlier, the proxies were used only during mining. So starting from this version, the proxies will be used in the configuration browser also, so you can immediately see them in action. Another important feature in this release is the update option for exporting data to database or file. So earlier, only overwrite and append options were available. So if we mine using a sample configuration and try to export the data to a file or database, you can now see that WebHarvy asks what to do if the file already exists, whether to append the data or overwrite the file or update the existing rows in the data file. So append works by adding all newly mined data to the end of the existing file. Overwrite will overwrite all the existing data, the previously saved data will be lost, and newly mined data will be saved to the file. And update will update those rows of data in the existing file which matches the same first column value with that of the newly mined data. It will update those rows and append the rest of the data. So the same options are available if you export to database also. We have the append, overwrite and update option. Now one thing to note is that these options are available for all types of databases, but for file export, this option is available only for Excel files. For other file formats, this option is currently not available. Well, we will be adding this in future updates. Moving on, the capture window now has two new options. So if we start configuration and click anywhere on the page, and if we go to more options, you can see that we have added a new page submenu which has the scroll down option which was previously here in the parent menu, and additionally we have the reload and go back options. The reload option will just reload the current page. This helps in making sure that the page is correctly loaded, because there are websites where the page is not completely loaded or the design is not completely correct when loaded the first time. In such cases, reload can help in extracting data correctly. The go back option will help to go to the previously loaded page in the browser, and this is useful in cases where you have used a click or an open pop-up option to load a new page, and if you want to go back to the previous page. Now you need not use this option for follow this link option, which WebHarvy will automatically take care of. Another important change is related to keyword scraping. So earlier, if you go to a website like this And if you want to scrape data for multiple keywords, what you would normally do is place the cursor on the search box and go to Actions and select Input a list of keywords, where you can type in the list of keywords and then perform the search. So now, whenever you are not able to follow this method, or whenever it has some limitations, you can directly go to the search results page. And from now, WebHarvy will allow you to add keywords even after starting configuration. So for a normal page, when you have started configuration in the normal method, the keywords option in the configuration tab will be active. And just like adding additional URLs, you can add keywords for this configuration. But the only condition is that the first keyword which you enter should be present in the start URL or post data of the configuration. So I can type in doctors first, because the term doctors is present in the start URL, followed by some more keywords, and click the OK button. But before that, let me try without the doctors keyword. And if I try to add these two keywords, WebHarvy will display an error saying that the first keyword enter, which is plumbers, is not present in the start URL or post data. So you can inspect the start URL or post data of the configuration by clicking this button here, and the post data, if it is present, will appear here. This is usually present for form submits. And now if I go again to the keywords window and paste the keywords and click OK, you can see that WebHarvy has accepted the list of keywords, and it will mine for plumbers and lawyers also by changing the term doctors in the start URL. And on top of this, we have a lot of small minor changes and bug fixes in this version, which you can find in our release update blog post. And as always, you can download the latest version from our website. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact our support or let us know in the comment section below. Thank you.